You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money while you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is your host of the Startup Junkie, AJ, and okay, admit it, you absolutely 100% love that song. Not me singing, but the original by Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. That's right, knowing when to hold 'em, knowing when to fold 'em, and I'm telling you this, the Democrats have thrown their cards on the table in the form of an 1,800 plus page bill, and today we're going to go over the details of the bill, and we're going to go over what the other side of the table, meaning the Republicans, is thinking about it. So let's get into the show. Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for being so very patient with me and my terrible exclamation point, terrible singing. So, welcome to the Startup Junkie. Today, we are going to get into what I hinted and what I promoted yesterday, and that is the cards are on the table. The Democrats come out swinging. They're letting you know, meaning they're letting the Republicans know exactly what they want in the next stimulus bill. All right. And I have to say, it is an enormous bill, as Nancy Pelosi said, an enormous bill for an enormous problem. OK, $3 trillion. Wow. All right. So what we're going to do very specifically is we're going to go over some of the details of the bill. And no worries, I'm not going to keep you long. All right. And I'm going to go over specific questions you ask me via DM and, just in the feed. OK, I'm going to address specific questions like, hey, what if I owe child support? Or, hey, I'm on Medicare. How does that affect me? What do I need to do? Or I'm an essential worker. Can you give me some more details about that? OK, so the long and the short is this. This is the Startup Junkie, and if you have not, be sure to like this video, like our channel, no matter what platform you're looking at it on at this time, because we're running on Facebook, Periscope / Twitter, as well as YouTube. And speaking of, be sure to subscribe to us, to our YouTube channel. We're just building it. The link is actually in the body of this post. And follow me, Anthony AJ Johnson, my entrepreneur page right here on Facebook. Now, let's get into it. All right. Wow. All right. So I'm going to get into it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this systematically. OK, normally I just kind of let whatever I feel, I just kind of let it take me to where I need to go to actually help share information with you. But today I'm going to do it systematically. So much so systematically, literally, it took me, what can I say? It literally took me about 7 hours yesterday between prepping for the show and double checking and researching and actually going through the bill itself. Okay, going through the HEROES Act bill. All right, going through it and finding specific pages that address your problems, okay? Speaking of problems or issues or things that you have and things that you want to know about that's in this bill, all you have to do is look in the body of this post. It'll tell you what page it's on in the bill, specifically. Say, for example, what is direct checks to household? What is the proposal on that? That would be on page 150. But more specifically, I'm going to give you the overview of the bill, and I'm going to tell you where everyone stands just starting off. Okay, here's the situation. All right, so the Democrats have put the HEROES Act out there, the HEROES bill out there. You can call it CARES Act Part 2, right? This particular bill not only covers direct payments to households, to families, right? But it also covers increasing unemployment to the end of the year, right? It covers specific amounts of money that will go to states. It covers raises, automatic raises for what you call essential workers. Essential workers, believe it or not, are even considered those people who are out, say, delivering food. Okay. And so there is so much in this bill. This bill is so, it is, what's the word? It is so reaching that on the Senate side, the minority leader on the Senate side, McCarthy, said, this is just 1,800 pages of a Democratic's wish list. Okay. And of course, Senator McConnell's position on it is we're going to wait and see what happens with the other money. And on the House side, Pelosi and Schumer, they're like, hey, look, people don't have time to wait. People need to eat now. OK, so let me just give you a summary of what's in the bill. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you here. So Democrats unveiled the $3 trillion COVID-19 relief bill. It's the second round of direct payments of $1,200 per person, up to $6,000 per household. Now, this bill literally covers the same criteria as it did before. For example, if you make under $150,000 a year as a couple, you would receive $200, and you file jointly, you receive $1,200 twice, which will be $2,400, and it allots for the number of kids that you have, all the way up, or dependents, all the way up to $6,000. Okay, here's one of the most important points about the bill that you guys have been asking me. Okay, $175 billion in rent and mortgage and utility assistance. Okay, let me switch back over to my camera. All right, and let me explain to you what that means. Okay, so many of you have reached out and saying, hey, AJ, what is the deal on the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act? Well, what the Democrats did in putting this bill together, they actually included that specific language in the actual bill itself. But what they did was they were even more ambitious by adding a number to it. And that number, as I just showed you, is $175 billion. Specifically in the bill, if you look in the body of this post, in the bill, you can read all about the rent and mortgage relief of $175 billion. They're calling to protect the renters and homeowners from eviction and foreclosure on page 961. Okay, you can check it for yourself. Again, when I bring stuff to you, I'm not just whistling Dixie. I'm not just pulling anything out of my ass. I'm actually bringing information to you, and I'm actually providing the source to the information in which I got it. Okay. And before we go any further, I want to say I used Fox News. Okay. For all the people that say, well, AJ, you're a little bit too more on the left side. And I keep saying, hey, I'm right here in the middle. I'm just presenting the information. And what about the right side? Well, I'm telling you, I actually use Fox News for a lot of this information that I'm sharing with you today. And the link to the article that covers and goes over all the highlights of this bill, summarizes the bill, is in the body of this post. So definitely check that out. All right. So let me share my screen and we'll go back and finish going over the bill. So everyone knows that on the Republican side, they really don't want relief for the U.S. Postal Service. OK, but on the House side, the Democratic side, they want to include, and they have included, a relief for the post office. OK, because, and when you think about this, we need the post office as an essential service. That's just my opinion. That's not a left or a right thing. I'm just saying. So this bill actually addresses giving money to keep the postal service going and sustaining the postal service. Now, I'm going to share with you the second part of this summary here on this bill. All right. Second part is, well, better yet, before I do that, what I'm going to do is okay, here we go. I'm going to go on and share it. All right. So the second part of this bill includes nearly $1 trillion in relief for state and local governments. Okay. A lot of governments, and I know you've heard on the Senate side say you should just let states go bankrupt, right? Because we're not interested in funding states that were mismanaged in the first place, right? Well, in this bill, they're actually saying it doesn't matter if they were mismanaged, in your opinion, prior to this, because of this unprecedented act of nature, at least $1 trillion of this money, of $2 trillion, of the $3 trillion bill that we're asking for, at least a third of that should go to states to actually help states with everything. Okay. And about $200 billion of it would go for hazard pay for essential workers. Now, what essential workers are, okay, you can actually, all you have to do is drop down in the body of this post and click on the link, and you'll see what is classified as an essential worker. Okay. You'll also see the full details of the bill. All right. And also for $75 billion, they want to be allocated toward coronavirus testing and contact tracing. Okay. So why is that so important? Okay. Why is that so important? Well, based on projections, right, to actually do contact tracing, it literally would take thousands and thousands of people to actually fill those positions to do that. So they, in this bill, they want to actually fund that. Okay. So I'm just giving you an overview of the bill. And when I started this off, I was joking around by singing The Gambler by Kenny Rogers, right? Why was I doing that? Okay. Well, in an interview, and you can check the video, the link is in this post, Nancy Pelosi basically is saying, okay, I know we're not going to get all this, all right? But here's the situation. This is a starting point for a negotiation to occur, right? So in other words, the bill is them 1,800 plus pages of putting their cards on the table. Now, I want to address very specifically what a lot of you guys have actually reached out to me and asked, okay? And everything that I'm sharing with you right now is actually in the body of this post. Now, if you want to check on the specifics without, if you want to go to the bill itself and read it for yourself and not go to, say, Fox News or go to CNN or go to any other website to actually read the ins and outs of this bill or the bullet points of this bill, you don't have to do that. I provided the actual bill for you. So most of you guys want to know about direct payments to households and the money proposed. You can find in the bill, you can find all of this information on page 150. It starts on page 150, right? A lot of you guys also dropped in my feed, what happens if you owe child support? Well, specifically, there is some protection in this bill in terms of protecting you from garnished wages, like say from creditors, because in some states, creditors can actually garnish your pay, right? In this bill, however, they can't do that except if you owe child support. All right. So for all you guys thinking who may owe back child support, chances are you will not. If some semblance of this is agreed upon and it passes, start on page 82 and 182 and read about this. You will not get a check. And it's right there in black and white. And it all depends on, at the end of the day, what both sides agree to disagree on and agree to what they can live with. Okay. Some of you guys also have asked me, some of the seniors have actually dropped comments, which congratulations, you're on social media. There you go. I had an 80-some-year-old ask me a question the other day, which I thought was fantastic. Okay. On Facebook, by the way. Medicare provisions. Copays, deductibles, and coinsurance. This is on page 334 of the bill. They're asking that none of that comes out of your pocket as it relates to, if you're being tested for this, the current situation. Okay. Now, some of you have also asked, some of you furloughed workers have also asked, what about COBRA? Well, you can find everything you need to know about COBRA and getting insurance while being unemployed on page 401. Okay. Then also, some of you also asked me, well, hey, what about buying insurance? Okay. Through healthcare.gov. Well, according to the bill starting on page 393, they're asking that you don't be turned down. Okay. So definitely check it out. And the last one that most of you guys were really, really interested in, because of the 33 plus million people filing for unemployment insurance and more than 20 million people being laid off in April alone, many of you guys have been asking about rent and mortgage relief. And I told you a little bit about that just a second ago, where I talked about they want $175 billion allocated for that. But the specifics on protecting renters and homeowners from evictions and foreclosures, including like forbearance and rent forgiveness and all that, appears on page 961 of the bill. All right. So again, any and everything that I'm sharing with you is not my opinion. It's just the information as it is written. Okay. So I hope that I've answered your questions about this. This is the HEROES Act, okay? And, some people just call it CARES Act Part 2, right? But remember, there are a total of 4 phases of this thing, right? And within this phase, the last phase, 4, they're asking for all of this. Now, where we end up, no one knows, right? But at this point, something has got to give. At least that's what's being said on the House side. And on the Senate side, I am quite sure that something, and it's just my opinion, okay? I'm quite sure they're going to come to the table eventually. And they're going to, they're going to hammer out something, okay? I believe that. I believe in the goodness of mankind. Call me foolish, but I believe that it'll be okay. All right. But anyway, I just wanted to share that information with you today because you asked and you wanted me to talk a little bit about the bill once it was released. And there you have the information. You also have page numbers to your interests that you've asked me inside of the feed. You've DM'd me, and there you have it there. And you also have access to links that give you an overview of what's in the bill and what both sides are thinking about it. I'm your host of the Startup Junkie, AJ. Be sure to check out the show Monday through Friday right here on this social channel. And also be sure to check out the Startup Junkie live podcast on Apple iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, as well as iHeart Media. So until tomorrow, everyone, I am 100% out. Take care.